Hey, it's Dave from Gravity Wiz, and something magical just popped up in your spellbook. It's called GP Popups, available with the Gravity Perks suite. This perk turns any Gravity form into a flexible and highly customizable pop-up. I'm talking full control over when, where, and how it appears, what it looks like, and dozens of other knobs for you to tweak. Let's pop on over and have a look. Okay, so the first place that we're going to start is actually with a form. We're going to hop over to forms. We're going to go to our GP Popups free plugins form. This is the form that we'll be using for most of this demo. So all we're collecting is an email. In exchange, we're going to give you some free plugins. And of course, we're going to send that email to Drip with our GC Drip plugin. And I've just used Gravity Form's own ability to put the submit button in line. So this is all ready to go for our pop-up. So how do we get this in a pop-up? We're going to go to the embed menu here. We're going to go down to pop-up and click the create pop-up. It's going to launch a new tab with our form already pre-selected in the form to display setting. And we can go ahead and give this pop-up feed a name. We're going to call it free plugins. Keep it nice and simple. All right, scrolling on down to our display settings, we are going to use a pop-up, full screen, corner, and banner are also available display modes. We're going to go ahead and set our width to 640. We're going to go to our backdrop. We're going to leave it at this default semi-transparent black background, but we are going to enable the backdrop blur, which is just like a really tasty feature. Then we're going to go to animation. A couple different options here. We're going to leave it at fade because it's just so, again, just so tasteful. I love it. Close behavior, so many options here. You can close on the backdrop click when the escape key is pressed or the close button. The most exciting one here though is this auto close on submission so that when the pop-up is submitted, it will automatically close. I'll actually show you that here in a second. And then on appearance, we're not doing anything fancy here just yet. We're just gonna leave the default template, which we'll put in, just simply output the form, but I am gonna enable the show form title so we can see that. Now, let's go back up to the top here. We're going to go to trigger settings. How do we want this modal to trigger or this pop-up to trigger? In this case, we're going to do scroll depth, 50%. But the other options available here, again, delay after a specified number of seconds, button or link click where you could just create a button anywhere on your site and have that open the modal. Exit intent, when they're about to leave the page, you can just show the modal, or even custom where you can essentially do it all via code. Very flexible. Cookie settings, there is the ability to remember the dismissal. This is something that you'll typically want, but for the sake of this demo, we don't want it because I want to show you this modal multiple times. And then targeting, we'll get into that in a little while. Okay, so let's go ahead and save the settings. And we are going to go ahead and preview the site. And again, as we scroll about 50% of the way, our modal is going to pop up. It's our form, it's in a modal. What more could you ask for? Maybe a little styling, right? Okay, so how do we style these things? Let's hop over to our documentation. And if you scroll down a little bit, there is a link here for styling pop-ups. We built this for nerds. It's supposed to be very flexible and you can just use, raw HTML and CSS. But if you're not comfortable with that, we totally get it. You can come here and use this AI designer prompt and you're going to get a ton of mileage. In fact, I'm going to show you some demos here in a bit that were all created with this exact prompt just to show you how powerful it is. So you'll take this, you'll dump it into your AI chatbot of choice, and it will give you the exact CSS and HTML you need to paste into your template. With that said, I already have a pre-generated template set up. I'm going to pause this video and get that inserted, and then we'll resume from there. All right, we are back in the display settings under the appearance tab, and I am in the HTML portion of the template. I've just inputted my little custom template here, and then I'm going to go to the CSS, and I've just dumped that in here. Not even that many lines, only 34 lines. I am going to go ahead and disable the show form title. We want to handle all of the markup in our template now. And I'm going to save the settings. And so now let's go back and see what we get. Boom. And you can see I'm already scrolled halfway down the page. So that's why the modal launched just like that. And yeah, grab a bundle of free Gravity Forms plugins. Let's go and input our email address and submit. We see a tasty pre-styled confirmation and then it automatically closed. What a beautiful thing. I love it. So let's go over to targeting. We obviously don't want to show a modal on every single page of our site, right? So in this case, we're offering essentially free plugins, and all of our free plugins are super magical. So we're going to target specific posts, but I just want to quickly cover, there's so much. You can target based on content, like specific posts, the content type, post type, etc. Terms, if a post belongs to a term, you can show a pop-up. You can do things based on URL and navigation, the user and authentication, device and browser settings, time and schedule, and even some advanced settings like whether or not a cookie is present or custom JavaScript, or even doing some A/B testing with setting a traffic percentage to only show a pop-up to a certain percentage of your traffic. In this case, again, we're just going to go really simple here. We're going to target all of some specific posts, and we're going to call these our spell posts. In this case, we're going to open up our little menu here, and we're just going to grab all of these spell posts here. We're going to say done. We're going to save the conditions, and we're going to go to save settings. And so now when we go back to that front end of the site and we scroll down on this page, it doesn't show up anymore. And that's because none of these, it doesn't match this page. But if we go to one of our spell posts and scroll down, there it is. It appears again. Last thing I want to show you before we move on from this specific pop-up is analytics. So you can see we've shown the modal twice. Actually, I think we've shown it 3 times now. Let's refresh this page. Yes, we've shown it 3 times now. We've had 1 submission, so that is a 33.3% conversion rate. We haven't dismissed it at all because we just love engaging with it. But if we hop over to the actual pop-ups menu here, you're going to see that it shows you that same information right here. And you can even see I have a couple other pop-ups. It would show you the same data there. Apparently this one hasn't been submitted at all. But speaking of other pop-ups, that's one of the things I want to show you. It's so cool. So let's jump back to the front of the site. So we're going to go up to our admin bar here and click GP Popups. It opens up our GP Popups debug sidebar. You can search for specific pop-ups. You can filter out pop-ups that match the current page or don't match the current page. You can also visually see this if you don't have a ton, just with the green check mark or the red X if it is not applicable to this page. This one, again, doesn't apply to our homepage anymore because we've set those specific posts. But the cool thing is that you can still launch it. So you can test it really easily on any page of your site. Now, I just want to show you a couple other examples of pop-ups you could build. This is like a booking pop-up where you could select a service and a resource like Sarah, and then select a date and time for your haircut, all from within the context of a modal. Another good example of this is an order form. So if you have a product page and you don't want to send them off to a separate page to check out, or your form is just too chunky to actually embed in the page, you can just create a modal and they can order it directly from whatever page they're on. Pretty cool. Okay, we're going to close that debug bar and we are going to move on to the final bit of this, and that is the part where I show you these demos that we already cooked up with that AI prompt just to get you inspired. So pop-up, you've seen it, it's beautiful, love it. Now let's go ahead and close this one and go over to the full screen. Look at the snowflakes, holy cow, but maybe later we'll brave the cold. And then corner, this is the one that can show up in any corner, by the way, not just the bottom right or bottom left. And then banner, again, this can be top or bottom, all super flexible things. And again, if you go to our documentation, you can test all of these out yourself with the pop-up debug sidebar as well. It's all right there. Awesome. There is so much more to explore with this plugin. Did not mean to trigger that again, but I am so excited to have this in your hands now. It is live already. It's in your spellbook. Go and use it. Let us know how we can make it better. We already have tons of ideas, but I know that you'll have even more. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much. Bye for now.